Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Zach Gardezi. I'm a certified financial planner and the founder of Wealthstone, a private wealth management firm based out of Scottsdale, Arizona. So today I'm going to discuss an important subject, retirement. Now, if you're watching this, you're probably going to retire within the next 5 years, whether it's tomorrow, next week, or sometime in the near future. You're probably wondering what you should be doing to ensure that you're financially prepared for this next stage of life. Now, in today's video, I'm going to share 5 tips that will help you feel more confident and prepared as you approach this exciting, fun, but often daunting chapter of your life. Now, my goal is to help you feel more comfortable heading into retirement. And if this video resonates with you or you think it could benefit a family member or a friend, please feel free to share it and subscribe to my channel for more helpful content. Also, my contact information is in the description box below. So if you wanted to reach out and discuss your personal situation, please do so. Now, let's get right into today's topic. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is set aside a few hours, maybe an evening after work or over the weekend, to really reflect on your decision to retire. Now, retirement is a huge life transition, so it's important to think about carefully, where you want to retire, how you'll spend your free time, the lifestyle that you want to live, and most importantly, whether you feel like you've saved enough to support that lifestyle. Now, as a certified financial planner, I spend a lot of time advising clients at this stage of life. The toughest question most people face is, have I saved enough? Now, it's not like you get an email after 30 years of working that says, okay, you've saved enough, you're good to go. That just never happens. Now, the message that I try to deliver when I'm doing my, financial plan for a client is that you never have to work again, right? That's the ultimate message that I want to send. And it's really one of my favorite conversations to have because then my clients can focus on things like spending more time with their family, passion projects, or doing whatever they want. You could see the weight get lifted off their shoulders. But to get to that point, I ask a series of detailed questions about your family, spending habits, and goals, whether you want to travel the world, help pay for weddings for your kids or your grandkids, maybe helping to pay for college expenses or helping to pay for the down payment of their first home. Or maybe it's to buy yourself a vacation home or undertake a big remodeling project. There are just so many factors to consider. There's economic factors, like whether we're heading into a recession or maybe your industry is booming or it's struggling. There could be personal factors like your health. And then we talk about, should you start taking your Social Security now or delay it until age 70? If you're having health issues, you may find, that there's more time, valuably spent with your family than it is working. Now, if you're under age 65, that's when Medicare kicks in. And maybe the cost of losing your workplace health insurance is a big deciding factor for you. There are just so many variables to weigh, which is why if you're feeling overwhelmed, that's normal. A lot of people hire a CFP during this period of life to help them transition into retirement and then navigating retirement all throughout. So take a close look at your 401k and make sure it's aligned with your retirement goals. I can't tell you how often I review someone's 401k when they're nearing retirement and see that they're either taking on too much risk or they've moved entirely to cash after maybe a market correction and missed out on potential growth. By now, your 401k is likely one of your largest assets. It's possibly even worth more than your home. Now, the last few years of saving and investing can have a major impact on your retirement date and lifestyle. For many people, there are now working in their highest income years. Maybe they're at their highest level of net worth, and they're probably contributing more to their savings than ever before. So log into your account, check your holdings, access your allocations, between stocks and bonds, analyze that. You don't want to be too risky. like being in all small cap stocks, for example. But at the same time, you don't want to be sitting in cash and missing out on potential growth. So, but also, this is not the time to make a gambling decision or try and timing the market. If you're unsure of your strategy, now is the time to get professional advice to ensure that your investments are aligned with your goals. Retirement is an exciting time, but don't let that excitement cause you to overlook your estate plan. Too often, I see people focus on the fun aspects of retirement, like travel or hobbies or socializing, and while neglecting the important stuff, like, for example, your estate plan, or maybe even creating one in the first place. So, I'll give you an example. I met a high net worth couple years ago who owned multiple properties, had significant investment accounts, and they're spread across many different firms. Now, they hadn't reviewed their estate plan in over a decade. So when I went through it, I asked who their successor trustee was, and it turned out to be one of their estranged eldest children. And the parents had completely forgotten that they named this child to manage their entire estate. Now, imagine the chaos that would have caused, quite frankly, if the parents had passed away and this particular child was left in charge of all the money and properties and then managing the distributions to the other beneficiaries. Now, this exact situation might not be your situation, but it's possible that there are provisions in your estate plan that you no longer agree with. Maybe there are family members that you've drifted away from, or some that you've rekindled relationships, and now you're thinking that you might need to adjust some of your beneficiary provisions. So, you might have moved to a new state, or you plan to, and the estate laws in that new state are different, and that could cause your current documents to potentially become useless. I remember, during my banking days, clients would bring in power of attorney documents, and they were drafted sometimes in other states. And then when I would get them reviewed by our legal department, something bad would happen. Like, for example, those documents, the power of attorney, wasn't written correctly according to the laws of Arizona. And now those documents couldn't be used. So here's the issue with that. If someone's in the branch trying to use the power of attorney, their powers as the power of attorney for the principal, which the principal is the person who the power of attorney was drafted for, that usually means that person is incapable of managing their own financial affairs. Sometimes it's because they're out of the country and they just need somebody to take care of something, but usually it's because they're dealing with some serious health issues. And if the document that you relied on and you thought was a good document is no longer valid because of this different state that you live in, or maybe the language is outdated, this could create some huge problems. Because if you're unable to manage your financial affairs, let's say, for example, you're incapacitated. Well, if you're incapacitated, you wouldn't be able to most likely draft new estate planning documents, right? It's probably too late. So in that case, it could create all sorts of chaos. It's as if there was no power of attorney in the first place. So that's why it's so important to review your estate plan regularly, especially when you're approaching retirement. And if you don't have an estate plan, you most likely need one. Many people think that estate planning is only for the wealthy, but if you have retirement accounts, a home, savings, family heirlooms, or charitable goals, it's crucial to make sure that your wishes are clearly documented in a will or a trust. Now, I'm a big fan of trusts because they typically allow assets to avoid probate, saving you time and saving your heirs money as well. Trusts can also include provisions that protect you if you're incapacitated, such as, with dementia, which is becoming more common as people live longer. So remember, there's a point where you may no longer have the mental capacity to put these documents together. So it's best to act early. Your heirs will thank you, and you'll have the peace of mind knowing that your affairs are in order. So if you're a business owner, the best time to start planning your exit is now. Too often I meet business owners who are ready to retire, but haven't discussed this with their financial advisor or CPA until the very last minute. This can cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions, in lost business value. If you're 3 to 5 years away from retirement, now is the time to begin working with your financial team, business exit planners, and just start planning ahead. Because if you plan ahead, you can take steps to increase the value of your business before you sell. And this will ensure you're selling it also in the most tax efficient way possible because you've had the opportunity to plan ahead. A financial planner can help you, answer tough questions like whether it's worth working a couple more years to increase the value of your business, or how can you protect yourself if you have, for example, a degenerative medical condition that could impact your ability to run the business. What if you need to stay on to help with that transition, but your health is no longer allowing for that? So planning ahead can maximize your business sale while minimizing your tax and other liabilities as well. Okay, so this might sound a bit unexpected from a finance guy, but I strongly recommend you prioritize socializing and staying physically active in retirement. I've seen too many people retire, isolate themselves, and just stop exercising, and then their health declines rapidly. You've worked hard to reach this stage, so make sure you're taking care of yourself to enjoy it fully. Studies show that social isolation is as harmful as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. That's according to a study from BYU. Another study published in The Lancet found that 150 minutes of moderate exercise per week can reduce your risk of premature death by 31%. That's just 22 minutes a day of activities such as brisk walking, dancing, cycling, or gardening even. So you'll know you're at a moderate level if you can talk, but maybe you can't sing, or you're breaking a bit of, a light sweat, for example. So, I would say consider joining clubs, staying involved in your community, or even just making sure you're doing your regular exercise just as a part of your daily routine. And also consider investing in a smartwatch, like an Apple Watch, for example. This can help you track your physical activity. It can even alert your loved ones or emergency services if something happens while you're alone, like you slip and fall. Sometimes, for example, a heart attack or a stroke or whatever the case is. These new smartwatches are a great fail-safe in case you're alone and maybe you're doing some strenuous exercise and you get hurt. So stay active, stay healthy, because you work so hard to generate all this wealth. Now make sure you're there to be able to use it. So the key point I want to leave you with is this: planning ahead for retirement is crucial. If you want to achieve the outcome that you've always dreamed of, or consider it like this: you're in the fourth quarter, or if you're a baseball fan, you're in the ninth inning. And now is the time to make sure every decision is intentional and aligned with your long-term goals. You're likely, as I mentioned, in your highest earning years. You're at the highest level of net worth, and every choice you make from here on out will have a significant impact on your retirement. So follow these tips, do your research, and I highly suggest that you consult the CFP as you approach the next stage of your life. And please reach out to my office if you would like to discuss your situation. I would be happy to discuss more with you. So my contact information will be in the description box below. But thank you so much for tuning in.